Today we're going to be looking at some extremely rare Plants vs. Zombies plushes, as though the majority of the plushes in this video actually never got officially released. As though the majority of the plushes in this video are either just prototypes or either samples. As though there's only really one plush in this video where you could actually get easily that was actually fully released to the public, being the Yeti zombie. Now for the face on the Yeti zombie, it overall looks pretty good. As all the eyes are a separate piece of plush material stitched onto the rest of the face, which just makes it look a little better, as well I like when the eyes aren't fully stitched onto the face, as well it's pretty unique. And while the two spots for the nose are nicely embroidered on, and the mouth on this plush overall looks really good, I like all the teeth and everything, as though they're nicely cut out and they look pretty good, but they could get damaged because they're made out of a felt material. And while the majority of the plush is actually covered in this really fuzzy white material. As well, I don't really know the specific material used on this plush, but whatever it is, it's really soft and it makes a good look for a Yeti zombie plush. As well, Yetis are supposed to be fuzzy, so they did a good job with that. And while the only other two details on this plush that aren't covered with the Yeti's fur are the hands and the feet. And while the hands on this plush have some extra embroidery on them, and they're nicely shaped and they have a good amount of detail on them, and same thing with the feet. So yeah, overall, basically every single detail on this Yeti zombie plush looks really good, especially with the face, and I like how the fur is made and everything, so yeah, overall, this is a really good plush. And this one actually was officially released, except this one's just extremely expensive for whatever reason, because while on eBay and Mercari, it actually sells for over $100. And while I've actually seen this plush for sale at over $300, so yeah, mattering on which seller you get it from, it could sell from around $100 to $300. And while there's also a sample of this plush, which is literally just the exact same thing, but it's blue. Now, the sample plush obviously has a few differences to it. The most notable one is that the fur is blue. And while it seems that the fur is basically the exact same fur used on the actual Yeti zombie plush that was released, it's just a blue color on this sample. There's also some much smaller changes like the mouth on this plush, as you can tell, the teeth are just slightly different and the inside of the mouth is a different color. The hands and feet on this plush are also just slightly different, so yeah, overall there are a few details on this plush that are changed, but the most notable one is obviously the fur, and it's a pretty strange looking sample. And while there actually seems to be a bunch of other samples that just use really weird colors. As well, I've seen some Mario plush samples that just use these really weird colors on them, and I don't really know why companies do that, as well it just makes them sort of really weird looking sample plushes. And while there's only one blue Yeti zombie that exists, and there's actually a comparison between the blue one and the white one right next to each other. So yeah, for the white Yeti zombie, you could actually get it pretty easily, but for the sample one, there's only one in existence, so it's basically impossible to get. Now next up we have the Swashbuckler zombie. Now we don't actually have a full image of this plush, and the only image that we have is just one image of its head. And well, from what we can see on this plush, it actually looks pretty good. As though I like all the details on the face and everything. The eyes are basically just the exact same one used on the Jazzwares basic zombie, even though they weren't made by the same company at all. So it seems that this company might have taken inspiration from that company, but still, the face looks overall pretty good. I like how the teeth are gold and white, as though it just gives it a bit more detail and everything, and it overall looks pretty good. As you can tell, there's some stitching above the eye to make it look like a scar, which overall looks pretty good. And from what I could tell from this picture, the hat seems to actually be made out of this fake leather material. And well, from what I can tell, the hat is overall really nicely shaped and everything, and it actually looks pretty good. And well, you could also sort of see the beard on this plush, dude. It's kind of hard to tell to see which material it's made out of. And you can barely even see the beard on this plush, so I can't really say if it's good or not. You could also see his arm to the right of him. And well, the only part of his shirt that we can see is actually the sleeve on the arm, which you can barely even see as well, so I can't really tell if it's good or not. So yeah, overall, there's no real way to tell if this plush is accurate or not, as well, all we have is the face, which the face does look pretty good, and the only other part of the plush that we have is the arm with the sleeve on it, but that's all we can see. So yeah, it's currently unknown what the rest of the plush looks like, and we might never know, as well, this plush is actually pretty old. So yeah, there's a possibility that this will forever be the only image of the plush that we have, and we'll never know what it fully looks like. Now moving on to the next plush, we have the Poncho zombie. And well, out of all the plushes in this video, this one is by far the most detailed, as well. If you compare the Poncho zombie to the Poncho zombie in Plants vs. Zombies 2, it's basically perfectly accurate. And well, before we go over the actual plush itself, the way we even know this plush exists is that around a year ago, it was actually listed on the website Taobao. And well, from there, it was bought from someone in the United States, and then it was sold again on eBay, and then it was sold again, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, overall, there's been a couple of different people that have owned this plush, and while this is definitely one of the most unique prototype plushes I've ever seen, as well, it just looks really good. As well, for the face, it basically uses the same eyes that are used on the Swashbuckler zombie, and they once again look pretty good. The mouth on this plush overall looks fine, as well, all the teeth and everything are nicely made, and I like all the hair on this plush as well. As well, it seems that the hair is made out of this really fuzzy material that looks overall really good, and for the hat on this plush is just really accurate. As well, the hat has some embroidery on it, which makes it look more accurate to the game, and I think they did a really nice job with the embroidery on the hat, and the actual shape of the hat is also really good. As well, in the front of the hat, they cut off some pieces of the hat just to give it a bit more detail and make it look more accurate to the game, which I think they just did a really good job with, and well, for all the clothes on this plush is definitely the most detailed part of the plush. As well, the main piece of clothing is actually printed on with all the details, which just makes it look really good. As well, it seems that they just got a piece of plush material and it just printed on all the details, so it overall looks really good, and under that there's also some more clothes that are also all accurate to the game. As well, under it you have its jeans, which the jeans overall seem to be really nicely made, and the shirt also seems to be accurate to the game, and it overall looks really good. And while the hands on this plush also look really nice, as though they're really nicely shaped and everything, and they also have some embroidery on them just to define the fingers. And while the boots on this plush are also really nicely made, as well, they have the extra metal bits that are represented by felt material, and they're nicely shaped and everything, and they look really good. They also have a star stitched onto them, which is overall a really small detail, but it just makes it look more accurate to the game, and the actual shape of the boots and everything look really good, and they're really nicely stuffed. So yeah, overall, out of all the plushes in this video, this is definitely the most detailed one, which is probably the reason why it was never officially released. As well, if they wanted to make this plush this detailed, they would have to spend a lot of money producing it. As well, just by looking at this plush, you could obviously tell that they put a lot of work into it, and honestly, it's one of the most detailed Plants vs. Zombies plushes out there. Which is probably the reason why it was never officially made, as well, it just would have cost way too much money to produce this amount of quality on one plush. So that's most likely the reason why this plush was never officially released, which is kind of sad, as well, I would love to actually get this plush. But sadly, there's only one in existence at the moment, but still, overall, it's a really nice looking plush. I'm glad that it got listed on that one website, as well, without that one listing, we would actually never know that this plush even exists. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please like, subscribe, and comment down below which of these plushes are your favorite, and yeah, have a great day.